Well, hello, everybody on the YouTube. It's Wingnut, and this is going to be It's Electric 5 of 5. This is the last video for the Zero demo series. You guys know from my previous reviews that I like to go back a day or two later and talk about the motorcycles a little bit more after I've kind of got my like excited school kid thing out of the way, because if you guys noticed, I giggle. You would think that those motorcycles were powered by giggles a lot. I really enjoy them, so I can't really complain. Alright, so what I want to talk about a little bit more is the motorcycles themselves and the brand. I was really impressed. I was very, very impressed with the entire motorcycle line. From the FXS to the SRF. You know, the DS and DSR. Out of the bunch, personally, I would rather have the DSR, just because I'm looking for an adventure bike as my next motorcycle. And, it fit me quite well out the box. You know, and then some handlebar risers and some touring bags, and I'd be set. As you can see, it's a little bit rainy today out, and hopefully it doesn't mess up the view too much. But I wanted to kind of cover what's going on with the Zero. So the Zero brand, man, they really got on. They've been doing this for over 10 years now. They've been in production since 2009, and that doesn't count the amount of time and effort they put into development of the product before they launched as a brand. They're made in California, so they are American made. And if you're looking at the numbers on them, for the most part, every one of them has a really good fuel mileage if you consider that they have about a 2 to 3 gallon fuel tank. Alright, so for getting around town, getting around an urban environment or a metropolis, so to speak, I think they would be absolutely phenomenal. My wife and I have actually talked about it a lot, and we were looking at it as picking one up when I retired from the military as a backup vehicle for when we go RVing. Because, we're looking at a fifth wheel, and we're not finding too many of the toy hauler types that fit us. So we thought, well, I'll just get a KLR 650 or a DR, and we'll put it on the trailer hitch in the back and be done with it, because it's a light, it's a light creature. And then she suggested that why not use a Zero now that you've tried them out. And I got to thinking about it. I mean, it makes sense. And the reason it makes sense is because it's already a dirt bike. It's already light. Looks like I'm catching a train. And not only is it a dirt bike and it's light, or a dual sport and it's light, or adventure bike, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to slice that apple. The maintenance is a lot less. So that's less stuff I got to tote around with me. Because if you guys don't know me, I keep almost a full toolbox in my saddlebags right now. So I'm a little embarrassed by this, but I could almost disassemble this motorcycle and put it back together on the side of the road with the tools that are right there. Including the air compressor for entire patch kits and everything else, and a first aid kit. Oh, I guess I'm not catching the train. It's either that or this thing's broken. But anyways, I digress. I don't have to worry about oil changes. I don't have to worry about lubing a chain. I don't have to worry about putting gas in it, because the onboard systems for the campsite, the truck, or a generator attached to the camper could actually power the motorcycle. So as a backup vehicle or vehicle to take into town to get groceries, like I've done today, with my handy dandy Brazilian milk crate, is not a bad deal. You know what I mean? It's not a bad deal at all, because it'll free up a lot of maintenance and other stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely digging them. I'm definitely digging them. And yeah, excuse the wind noise, but my my gear's fogging up, and I don't have the right pin lock in, because I brought a different helmet today. So you guys will also notice that the camera view has changed back to dead centered, and that's because I can't quite get my video angle correct on the Neotech for my liking. It doesn't mean I'm not going to wear it. It's just for motovlogging. I'm going to be back in the RFSR. God, there's so many acronyms, and I'm in the military. So yeah, the electric bikes, definitely do them. There is a couple downsides to electric bikes. You know, I've already talked about the range. But around here, if I was going to stay here for the rest of my life, or if I lived in an area that was like this, it's would be a very smart choice. You know, at $1.61 to fill one up, you know, of juice, that ain't bad. When you know, like this, for the same, almost a little bit better mileage, I'm getting $15 out of 150 miles max. But it's also a monster of a motorcycle. So you get into like a Honda Rebel or something like that, this should be about the same. Actually, the same as the Shadow. I think Rebels get a lot better fuel mileage, but they can't get highway speeds. You know, if you're taking long distance trips, I don't think they're ready yet. I just don't. But I guarantee you, in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll have bikes that charge in 45 minutes and have a range of 300 miles. I'll bet you money on it. I'll bet you a cold beer on it. All right. So, you know, 10 years down the road, if we ain't got it, you better hit me up for that cold one. But that's what it is, you know. The other downside I have with electric anything, and that's electric motorcycles, electric cars, electric tractors, is the batteries. All right, lithium-ion is a great technology, but it burns a lot of fossil fuel to make that technology, from where it's mined from to how it gets over to being processed, where it's processed at, and then to get it back here. So there's a lot of time spent transporting it and removing and it burns a lot of diesel. See, and that's the downside I have with lithium-ion. We don't, you know, it might come out of Kentucky and a few other small spots, but it's being processed elsewhere, and it has to be transported back and forth. And the processing itself has a lot of chemical waste. So that's the downside to it. Now, the upside to it is, you know, it is something that you could power from a renewable energy like solar. So it can be somewhat effective. But you know, everything that you do, everything we do as human beings has a cost. Either, you know, physically, emotionally, or environmentally. So you have to keep that into account when you make your decisions. Personally, I wouldn't mind having one for the reasons that I've listed before, you know, and I don't think they would be a bad idea for us. That's just how I see it. So, you know, guys, that's pretty much what I have to say about the brand as far as how I see them. But I tell you one thing else. So I'm looking forward to seeing Harley's live wire. Would love to give it a shot and compare what they're doing to what you know, Zero's doing. Zero's been in the game for 10 years. Like marketing, selling motorcycles as a manufacturer for 10 years. Harley's been in for a lot longer, but electric's new technology for them. So I would love to be able to do a comparison of the two. You know, as far as that goes. And I was told that sooner or later I may get that opportunity, and I hope it pans out. If not, man, it is what it is. It's all good. The flip side of that too, though, is something else that gets brought up a lot, is how quiet those bikes are. I mean, they're quiet. You guys saw the videos. You know that they is so quiet that all you're hearing is a road noise. And there's none of that. Well, some people will see that as not being safe because loud pipes save lives. And you know, that statement is very, you could argue that one. You really can't, because I've actually seen it where somebody who had a set of loud pipes, now, people knew he was there. You know, but now with cars getting newer and more insulated and more comfortable and more sensors where people don't have to have input, you'd be surprised what people don't notice. And then again, you may not. You may be like me and pound the pavement most days on your bike, and you see just how much people are not paying attention because they're relying on those sensors, you know, to give them input. So they just tune out noise. I know some people who are EMTs and paramedics that are complaining that people aren't even noticing them when they're coming through, you know, in an ambulance because they're up in their phones. So I mean, it's argumentative at best, is what I'm getting at. So you know, I think they're a good thing. I think the technology needs to come a little bit more forward, so they're more of a viable thing for somebody who wants to do touring. I think a touring electric motorcycle would be pretty cool. If they could get it to where it could charge in the time it takes you to get lunch, you know, I think that would make a big difference. Buddy, don't, no. You're like in the middle of the road. Just run it, dude. But you know, I digress. I'm sorry, this guy's just messing me up. So the verdict is they're great bikes. They're great bikes, but in buying them, you need to understand the animal they are. I can't compare them to anybody else because they're the ones that are the only ones doing it the way they're doing it right now. You know, they have a full line of motorcycles. Whereas in Harley-Davidson, it's just, you know, announced the live wire as a production, no longer a concept, and they got one. And there's no other companies that I can go and check out. Jesus, these guys all over the place. That I can go and check out to give you a better answer on it. But hey, you know, down in the comments below, let me know what you think about them if you've tried them out. If you have questions, as always, feel free. I try to answer them as quickly as possible with as most knowledge as I could possibly gather if I don't currently have it on hand. Well, like with everything, your mileage may vary. So, you know, it's the Wingnut, folks. Like, dislike, subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the little bell, ding, fries are done. You'll know when I'm on here and you can hear my annoying commentary about crap that you don't care about. Hey guys, it's the Wingnut again. Hope you guys have a great summer. Be safe out there. Have a good one.